so this way we can say hi to everybody. And then once we hit Laney, how we doing? Or Jamie, how you doing? Sorry. Way we'll do it is just be able to say hi and interact for a few minutes, and then we'll do our promotion, and then we'll get started. Carlos, Swag, who's your girl? How we doing? How you guys doing? Thanks for coming to the podcast tonight. We got our man here, Kevin Thomas. Pretty excited about that. So. Catching, is it? What's that? White with self. Danny Pritchett, how we doing? No. Jake said he'll be here soon. Garrett, how we doing tonight? Mike? Yeah, probably better. Might be a good idea to have be mic'd up for talking purposes. Hey, Mama, how we doing?
Nobody wants to hear me talk.
Yeah, right not. Here's my mama. My mama popped in here with us.
Don't stop. No, lay down.
We're a dog-friendly podcast. They
Yes,
can be
we are.
in here.
Oh, yeah. We actually just got us a new pupper today. Old Benny.
One of my German shepherds was sitting. I don't know. Could you all see her on the screen?
Yeah, it's our peek over your shoulder.
She's sitting there. When she wants my attention, she taps me on the shoulder. So that's what she's doing. She kept tapping me on the shoulder, and I looked at her and I said, "Don't you start with me."
Oh, how we doing? Hi, Mama. Hope you're feeling better. She's not been feeling well here lately. Been kind of sick.
Well, she's the good one. So when she wants something, it's usually it's she wants food, water, and that's usually the essentials.
Yeah.
It's usually what she wanted to. But she's got both of them, so I'm not sure what her issue is.
Oh, we got
The other one's
on the YouTube side.
The other one's the Hellraiser. I got a shocking collar on her right now because she will raise hell while I'm doing this.
Oh yeah.
But she minds that shocking collar. She won't listen. I holler at her and she'll stop and look at me like I'm dumb. But if I have that shocking collar, I pick that remote up and she's good as can be.
Yeah. WP Horse Training. How we doing? Hey, buddy. How we doing? You did good at your game tonight, this morning. Ashley, Ray Roman, Bobby. How we doing, guys? And there's a user in there, too. What's going on with that up there? Back. That's gone. Huh. Here we go. We're back up. And did it again. Clayton, how we doing? Sorry, I missed a couple there, it looked like. That's all right. We'll make it up to you. We're getting ready to get started here. Go ahead.
I should have some of my followers coming in, so they messaged me and said they're going to be there. So
sweet. Well, it should be easy to find. We posted it enough.
Yeah. I put it on Facebook and Instagram as well, and I'll put the link to the YouTube channel and the TikTok, so it should be easiest for them just to tap whichever ones they want to go watch it on. So.
You know, as bad as I didn't do it on Facebook. I didn't even think about it.
Facebook ain't been letting me do nothing. I ain't been able to post a video of me singing on there or anything. It's all been just regular posts because they won't upload.
Well, YouTube wouldn't let me post one of the videos I put up today on TikTok, and I think it was just because it was playing music. But
YouTube's really good about that, buddy.
Yeah. Well, and it was just your song in the background, so I don't know. They still do that too, so not a bad thing, but kind of goofed with us there. But yeah, we'll see. Well, that's that time. It's that time. Let's get our promotion out of the way here. And what's that? Reconnecting. Good now? No. No, we haven't. Kevin, you got good internet over there?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's us. Oh.
Happening.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
dropping out.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
I don't know.
You want to try to end the call and call back, maybe? I mean, will that keep us live, though?
It's nothing to do with
Okay.
call because we're dropping.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good to go.
Do your stuff.
All right, here's my little deal. Hey, I'm actually wearing one of their shirts too.
Oh, look at you go.
Yeah. So this podcast and this experience tonight, and for a few more at least, is sponsored by the publisher. Ta-da! There they are. Oh, look, Kevin's even got one of them. Look at that. Publisher in Bethany, Illinois. It's neat old bar, and I got corrected. They do not have a 60-foot bar, 110-year-old wood bar. It's a 30-foot bar. But
how were you off by that much?
6 inches.
Fair.
But here's their shirt for another thing they do. They do a big fundraiser every year for Ronald McDonald House out of Springfield, Illinois. They do have putting around the country or county. I think it's putting around the county. Putting around the country, punting around the county.
Pretty sure it's country.
Either way, that's a big fundraiser for the Beacon, local Beacon. They have signups going up there now, so y'all go up there and do that. They usually have karaoke on Fridays, and they usually have a acoustic guest on Sundays up there. So outside of just going and checking out the place, because it's really cool bar and really relaxed place to sit and have a good time, you have some entertainment up there as well. So go check them out. The publisher in Bethany, Illinois. And our guest tonight is Mr. Kevin Thomas.
What's up, guys? I'm doing great, man. Doing great, dude. Always.
Yeah. I know we've been doing a lot of build up, talking with you and just trying to get videos out, get you enough promotion out, be on here with us. Cause like I've told you and any other artist I've talked to, it's a big thing for us to have you guys come on here and give us the opportunity to try to give you a stage to stand on here when you've got so many others to choose from, especially with us first starting out. So we really appreciate you coming on here. Unfortunately, we have a guitar here that we would have you sign, but since you're not here, you may not be able to, but sure we'll get together at some point. Maybe you'll be able to if you want to.
Yeah. That's the plan anyways.
Yeah. You come on up here, we'll come on down there. Either way, it'll be a good time.
I'll make time to get up there.
Yeah. So you got anything about yourself in particular that most people don't know about you that's kind of something that they wouldn't think about you maybe?
I'm a nerd. I like anime and stuff like that, because when you hear my music, you're thinking, okay, this dude's outlaw country. He probably walks around wearing a cowboy hat and button up everywhere he goes, and that is pretty much true when I'm out and about. But yeah, if you can't tell by the tattoos that I have on my arm, I am a nerd by heart, and And yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't realize until they meet me in person and they see my tattoos and they're like, "Wait a minute, is that a Yu-Gi-Oh tattoo?" And I'm like, "Sure is, buddy. Sure is." So
Well, we're all
that's
nerds
one big thing.
in one way or another.
Well, I got a couple
Yeah,
things in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Dave wanted to ask, is that a 6-string or 12-string you're playing? Looks like it's 6, but
it is a 6-string. Yep.
yeah. And then Mike Sweeney hopped in and said you should come play at the publisher.
There you go.
Yeah. Eric has talked to me about that before, so I would maybe we can make a weekend thing to where I come up and play a show there and get to hang out for the weekend or something.
Yeah,
I'll be able to make
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter if you're going to be on the podcast. If you just want to come hang out for the weekend, you come on up, buddy. We'll have a good time.
That ain't your
Hey,
seed,
Jake.
feller.
Jake may be late, but he's here. Come on, Jake.
6 minutes late. Mm.
Whole 6 minutes, you're in trouble. I'm docking your pay.
I get paid?
No, but I'm docking it when you do. Yeah, make sure you get a little bit closer. You was a little quiet last night.
Yeah,
on too.
that makes me feel very special, Jake. After 6 minutes late.
Hey, last night I was like an hour late.
Yeah,
so
that is true. The 6
I like
minutes
to
late.
make an entrance. But I'm so good I can't even see you. But
You right
All right.
there.
act like I can read anything though.
It's
That
fine.
Dave that's watching us on YouTube,
Nuke
he's
Nasty, we
from
doing?
Australia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got Australian
Dave.
Well,
fellas watching us.
Kevin, actually, you've got a pretty good sized Australia following, don't you?
Yeah, I sure do. I've got a lot of friends over in Australia that I've met through TikTok, and mainly because of my schedule being a full time musician. My schedule is usually I'm up super like I wake up at like 5, 6 o'clock in the day and sleep, and I'm up until 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And Australia is so far further than us and time that it usually works out to be their evening time when they're most active on social media. So I get to meet a lot of people from Australia.
Yeah, what are they? 14 or 16 hours ahead of us, something like that.
Something like that. They're a day forward. I know that.
Yeah. Well, if they're in the future, why don't they tell us about bad things that are going to happen to us?
See, they could have told us about 9/11. They could have gave us a heads up on that. I mean, last week was a harbor. God.
That's neither here nor there. I love stupid videos on the internet. There's
Well, our Australian feller says 12 hours ahead of us.
12 hours. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
Thank you for paying attention and answering that.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Morning time over there right now.
Yeah. Well, good morning, Australia. I hope you enjoy this. So, Kevin,
Yeah.
I know you
This
just
should be our new title. Good morning, Australia, from the U.S.
no.
Okay.
But anyway, well, we can always put it in there somewhere, huh, Jake? What? Is it something you can say?
Dave said we thought 9/11 was a movie.
You guys got the trailer before we even got to see it.
Yeah.
What the?
Get her and lay down.
So Kevin, before we get off onto that path and tank this show real quick, I know you just you released your acoustic version of Cold Hearted.
Yep.
Now I know we've talked about it, but I didn't know if you wanted to go in depth with everybody on how you got onto that project and that song and all that type of stuff with it.
Yeah, so Cold Hearted was originally wrote by a buddy of mine named Kyle Wynn and his brother Mark Wynn. And Kyle was the bass player for a band called DM and the 1601s, based out of Harlan, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And they originally put the song out first. And me being from Kentucky as well, fell in to the group and got to know Dustin, the lead singer of DM and the 1601s, and got to meet them guys. And everything. And so I started listening to their music because there's not a lot of outlaw country singers in Kentucky like you would think they are. That wholeheartedly like just sing traditional 70s 80s country music.
Yeah.
A lot of people sing a lot of Tyler Childers and stuff like that. But
Great country music.
anyways, I got to meet.
Am I?
Oh, hi, country music clip. Sorry to interrupt you, Kevin.
Oh, you're good. And I got to meet Dustin and all them, and Dustin allowed me to, he put me on his music, and I started listening to it, and I was looking through the music, and I seen the title "Cold Hearted," and I was like, that sounds like a cool title. I'm gonna listen to the song. So I listened to it, and I started listening to it, and next thing I knew, I was listening to the song for like 5 or 6 times a day. Like every time I turned around, I was putting it on my phone and re-listening to it, and I was like, man, I kind of want to release my own version of this song. So I hit Kyle up, the one that wrote it originally, and was like, "Hey, man," I was like, "just wanting to ask you for permission. I want to put Cold Hearted out on my new album coming." And he's like, "Yeah, man, dude." He's like, "Yeah, for sure." And so I was like, "Okay." So I instantly went to TikTok, made a video, put it out there, and it blew up. The video did of me singing Cold Hearted, and that right there solidified for me that it needs to be put out. So I instantly called my producer, Danny Mickoff, at Mill Spring Studios in Nancy, Kentucky, and was like, "Hey, man, we got to put this song out." He's like, "All right, bet." And so we got an arrangement together to put it out. And before going into the studio, I sat down and I was just like, "Man, this song is really good, but I want it to be the best it could possibly be. And I want it to be my rendition of the song." So I got to messing around with it, and I was like, I'm gonna write a ending to this song that I think is fitting for this song. And so I end up cutting the second verse in the song and writing my own ending verse, so like an outro verse for the song. So that kind of established me as a co-writer on my version of the song. And so we ended up recording my version of the song. And if you go and listen to Cold Hearted, that is the version you'll listen to.
That's awesome. So my question with it is now, because I've heard it, and I know everybody in here's heard it. I don't know about everybody out there, but you've got a guitar solo in there. Now, I wondered, were you the one playing the guitar on the solo?
Well, he says hit
Oh.
it, Shelby. So
No, that's Mr. Michigan. Cold Hearted.
I thought Cold Hearted where he goes, "Get it, Shelby."
No, that's Miss Michigan.
Which one is it, Kevin?
It's Miss Michigan has Get It, Shelby. Cold Hearted has the double time solo at the end of the song.
Yeah.
Okay. I've listened to his Spotify playlist.
It's because you
Like,
want that in
over
there.
and
Because you want that.
part is that
So
And the reason why so that was kind of like a in the studio when we recorded Miss Michigan, that was just like a win. That wasn't supposed to like go into the actual song. It was me getting excited. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was the guy Shelby, his name's Shelby Lore. He's an excellent musician, plays every instrument you can think of, and sings as well, and has his own band called Shelby Lore Band. And I hit him up, was like, "Hey, bro," because I didn't know any musicians really at the time that done studio work, but I knew he did. And I knew he played everything. So I was like, "Hey, to cut down on cost, what would you charge me to come into the studio for one day and record all these instruments for this song?" And he's like, "Give me a price, right?" And so I was like, "Yeah, that sounds good to me." So he come down and got him a hotel room and stuff because he lived like 4 hours away from where I recorded at. Got him a hotel room, and he come down, and that whole day he recorded all the instruments, and we waited till the end we waited till the end to cut the vocals. So I already heard, I had all the instruments in my ears when I was singing the song that you hear. And so when it got to that part, I knew the solo was coming, and I was so excited for the project because it's gonna be my first song I ever released. And I was just loving what I was hearing, that I got excited, and I said, and to also give back to Shelby for doing all that work for me in one day. And I said
I don't know.
to
Go
give,
ahead.
I guess, give
Yes,
appreciation to Shelby. I said, get it, Shelby, and it almost give it like a live feel as well.
Yeah. No, and
And
it
so,
definitely does. I love that recording of it. I mean, I've heard the videos you've put up on it and stuff, and I've heard you play a little bit on it live, and what you did with the studio for that one was amazing. Now, and I know we've talked about it, and you said that you're going to do an actual version like that with Cold Hearted as well. That's not just an acoustic. Is that right?
correct. Yeah. So studio time's expensive, and I'm a full-time musician, so
Yeah.
I don't make a crap ton of money. Okay. Um, and stuff like that. And so when Cold Hearted blew up on TikTok, one of my mentors, one of my best friends, Joe Jordan, he's like, if you ever have a video that blows up quickly, he's like, and you don't have the song out, he's like, you need to have it out. Like put it out as soon as possible
Yeah.
before it dies down. And so as soon as that happened, I was like, yep, I gotta get in the studio. So of course I made the phone call, got in the studio, and I was like, I gotta somehow cut corners here to make this cheaper on me because I
Yeah.
can't afford to just keep putting out full band songs. So I was like, here's the game plan. And I talked to my producer, and he's like, let's just do
Let me show you something.
3 or 4 acoustic songs that's going to be on the album. And then on the album, drop the full band versions. And so
But I'm just
that's what we ended up doing. And it was a lot cheaper to put the acoustic version out. So we put the acoustic version of it out, and on the full album, we plan on putting the full band version of the song out. So
yeah. So do you have a date or anything for that yet, or is that still secretive or just still in the works?
I do not have a date for the album quite yet. We don't have all the songs recorded for it yet. There's still some songs that's going on it that ain't fully arrangement wise has not been fully done on it. And so we still got to finish that, me and my band. But but for the most part, most of the songs are ready to go. We just got to get the money, got to get the time to get in there and record them.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
the
do
fun
know,
part.
yeah, it is pretty fun getting to go in the studio and hang and spending. It's like almost like a vacation because it's like when all the hard work pays off. I guess is what
Yeah.
in a way. And so yeah, we got. I know I just dropped Cold Hearted January 17th. And I'm gonna try to release 3 singles leading up to the album. So I got 2 more singles that'll be released before the album drops, and I'm gonna try to do every 2 months drop a single, and then end of the year the album. Date for sure not set yet, but should be towards the end of the year.
I gotcha. Well, we'll definitely be looking out for it. I know that. Because like I told you, the first time I heard your song was the day before I got a hold of you was on Dylan Weldon's live. He was
Yeah,
playing music and taking requests, and you said, "Hey, will you play my song?" And he goes, "Well, look, these guys are pretty particular in here, and they really are. Dylan Weldon, he's kind of an encyclopedia of true country knowledge, and the way
very
that
much so.
we have a lot of the same views as far as what country music is and what it should be and what shouldn't be. And he played your song, and I know everybody in the comments went wild. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna go look at his stuff, and I'm gonna try to pick him up because that'd be awesome. So, it's great. There's a lot of other podcasts and stuff like that are trying to get unrecognized artists some more recognition out there. And like you said, you've got some friends that you work with and that you write with, that you guys are all kind of pooling together and trying to get each other, hey, this is what's worked for me, this is what doesn't work, all that type of stuff. But and that's kind of what we're trying to do with this. Is I know Country Clips in here,
You still in here, country music clips?
Country Music Clips, Ty there, he was talking with us the other night. He's trying to do the same deal. Me and him have a little bit of different views sometimes. Not really different views. We have different we like different styles, I guess. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. But he's trying to do the same thing. I know Soul Gravy does the same thing. Soul Gravy is just he's an encyclopedia of music, period.
I feel like you'd like to think you are.
I'd like to think I am, but I ain't nowhere near somebody like Soul Gravy or Dylan Holiday or Dylan Weldon. I'm nowhere near them. I just have the small nuggets of knowledge that nobody else has.
About everything, you think?
Well,
Almost like Google. Like you just say something, he's like, "Well, actually, did you know it actually went like this when this
just
happened?"
because one time I was wrong. You
No,
proved
no,
me
no.
wrong once.
You're
You have
right.
proved
One
me
time I proved you wrong,
wrong
but
once.
usually
One time he proved you wrong. Doesn't mean you were only wrong once.
Look, I've never been wrong. I've been mistaken, but I've never
but you
been
just said
wrong.
I proved you wrong, and now you say you went
Yeah,
wrong.
well, I changed my mind.
I think we need to go to the judges.
Let's go to the judges.
Judges.
Hey, Kevin, I got a question from the YouTube chat. We got a
Yeah.
guy wanting to know if Appalachian Dan is an inspiration for your music.
Appalachian who?
Appalachian Dan. I've never heard of the guy, but if
I
not,
don't
who
know
are
him.
some of your inspirations?
Oh,
People
There's
you
a
look
some
up
of
to
question,
musically.
Farron. I'll step
so
out.
I've got
Oh, hey, I got you a present. Yeah, here.
I've got a couple inspirations, and I try to separate them through modern day inspirations and then like the older inspirations, I guess, that I grew up listening to. So my modern day inspirations would be like the top three would be Jamie Johnson, Channing Wilson, and probably like the Reeve brothers would probably be like my three biggest inspirations modern that are still putting music out today. For my old inspirations would be Merle Haggard, Waylon, and probably I'd say probably like David Allan Coe, somewhere around that line. The real outlaw stuff. Merle, not necessarily because he put like that outlaw sound out, but more so of the lines of his songwriting.
Yeah.
What song would you say really got you like interested in writing your own songs and making music?
One big one, and this is also the song that made Merle Haggard my favorite songwriter. It's not my favorite Merle Haggard song, but it's a song that when I first heard it, I was like, man, this is some writing right here, man. And that's Misery and Gin by Merle Haggard. When I first heard that song, I was like, yeah, Merle's the best to ever do it. and that kind of inspired me. But Waylon definitely was my biggest inspiration early in my childhood for the simple fact that the Dukes of Hazzard. When I grew up watching that as a kid, I would sit there Saturday mornings in front of that old square box TV, and my mom would put that. We had one of those square TVs that had a VHS player built into it. If y'all remember them,
Yeah,
and
I grew up with one of those.
my mom would put the old Dukes of Hazzard in, and I'd sit there and watch. I don't know if it was the same episode every Saturday morning or not. I didn't really care. I just watched it, and I remember starting that show. There was a silhouette of Waylon Jennings pop up there, and I never, um, didn't ever know who he was until later on in life. But he really inspired me because I thought he was the coolest dude in the world. Whoever that dude was that was on that show singing that song was the coolest dude ever. So I ended up learning how to play the guitar, and the first song I ever learned was "Good Old Boys" by Waylon Jennings, and because of that, it's going to be on my first album ever. So.
A good cover.
Yeah.
I'd listen to it. Would you like
What do
to
you say?
play it? Would you like to play that for us and give a little
Yeah,
sample?
yeah, I can. I don't know how this audio is going to do, but we're going to try her anyways.
We can try it out.
We'll mute ourselves and we'll join you back in a minute.
All righty. How's that sound?
It's a little spotty. It might clear up if you start playing. I know it did when we were just testing stuff out.
All right, we'll do it right here. All right, so we're gonna put this out on the album this year, and as far as I know, I think it's just me, Waylon, and I think Josh Turner are the only people that'll ever have this song out. So, or we'll have it out so far as a cover. So, here we go. This is "Good Old Boys" by Waylon Jennings. Just a good old boy, never mean no harm. Peace all you ever saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Straighten the curves, you're fighting the heat. Some days a man might get 'em, but the law never will. Making their way only where they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow. Yeah, making their way only where they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow. Well, I'm a good old boy. You know my mama loves me, but she don't understand why they're showing their hands and on my face on TV. Making their way only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow. Yeah, making their way the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow. We're all good old boys, wouldn't change if we could. It's five system like a true modern day Robin Hood.
Well, you sounded great to us and the people on YouTube. I don't know that TikTok was able to hear you. We were having issues with them for some reason.
Yeah, TikTok is kind of a pain.
Hey,
I
Joe,
bet.
Joe and Chrissy, thanks for coming on here.
They should do like a they should do like straight live on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We're like I said, with us trying to do both of them and going through Discord. I don't know. I'll reach out to Soul Gravy and see what they do if they do something different because they don't seem to have the issue. And I know they stream to TikTok and YouTube both as well. So hopefully we can get that fixed.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to get Discord's audio into here, I don't think.
Really? Say because we didn't have that problem with last night.
It was probably just picking up mics.
Well, could be. But yeah, you sounded great on our end. Once he turned his mic on and you could hear it through TikTok, it was sounding good. So yeah. So we got that fixed. kind of. But no, like you said, that's one of the most as far as TV especially goes, that's one of the most iconic sounding songs that you hear. You hear the beginning of it, and I don't know anybody that doesn't know the song. You know,
Yeah.
um, another Waylon song that kind of got like that was him and Willie's version of "Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys." You know, they did
Oh yeah.
that together, and their sons actually did that together for the ranch.
I didn't know.
Willie's oldest son and Waylon's son, Shooter, did that together, and I think they did a really good job. But you know, it's just one of those songs that once you hear it start, you know it immediately.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I like
And that song, "Good Old Boys," has a very prominent bass line as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and Jake said he likes the one that Struggle and Jelly Roll did together, and we go back and forth on that one a little bit. But I didn't say I didn't like it. I like Shooter and Willie's Boy better, which I feel bad because I can't ever remember his name. He's got two boys, and I actually got to see them in concert live a couple years ago at the State Fair, and it was cool because I got to see Willie Nelson live. I was a little let down with the way Willie performed because he was just playing as fast as he could and singing as fast as he could. Um,
He was probably
Yeah.
stoned and ready to get off the stage.
probably.
My dad said he went and saw him one year, and he said he don't know if Willie was stoned or if he's just 'cause old. But every show he'd throw his bandana
Uh,
out in the crowd. He said he could barely make it into the front row.
yeah. Well, now I have heard since then there's been some live performances of him here and there that he did really well at. So I wonder if he was just rushing through it because he was trying to get so many songs in a certain amount of time type thing too. Because he was playing Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain like you know as fast as he could, and it didn't sound great. But when he did slow down, when one of his oldest son was on stage with him, who sounds just like him, they'd slow down just a little bit. Just he'd get him to slow down just a little bit and play together, and you couldn't tell who was singing then, whether it was his son or him, because I mean his son's voice is that close. I mean, it's like it's almost like Hank Jr. playing his daddy's songs back in the day. You know, he was so close to it, you couldn't tell the difference. And I don't know that he'll ever just do covers of his dad's songs unless they're kind of on the backside of not backside because there's no B side anymore, but you know, bottom of the list type stuff for his records if he ever releases anything. So,
Well, that's what Ben Haggard done.
yep,
When Merle passed away, Merle told Ben before he passed away. He said when I pass away, he said you'd be stupid not to take my
yep,
bus and my guitar and tour the country singing my songs. That's what I told him.
yeah,
And so Ben said when his Merle died, and he said that him and Marty, which is Merle's brother,
yeah,
they was going to take around the country and play his dad's song in tribute to him. And he said I'm going to play my dad's song for 3 or 4 years, and then he said I'm going to start putting my own stuff out. And
yeah,
I guess that's the plan. That's what he's planning on doing. So, and he sounds just like Merle.
yeah.
So
Well, and
does
you
Marty.
know,
His brother all sound
I
like.
I love Merle Haggard's stuff just because you know he's kind of like David Allen McCoe in the fact that he can go to them and Waylon too. Waylon does the same stuff, but you know they get into that faster kind of southern rock outlaw country music, but they can do them real slow soft ballads, either you know pour your heart out or tear in your beer type stuff, and they do great with it. You know,
Yeah.
that
When it comes to songwriting, in my opinion, Merle Haggard is my favorite. He's probably, in my opinion, he's the best to ever do it. He
yep,
can, like, just his lyrics, man, the way he can just portray stuff. And, like, he's a lot like Jamie Johnson in the aspect of singing. Like, Jamie Johnson is the kind of guy that can take a guitar, walk up on stage, ring one note, and everybody's going to stop and listen.
yeah,
You know what I
yep,
mean? And that's how Merle was. Merle could walk into a loud honky tonk, smoke filled bar, get up on stage with a Telecaster and himself, and play one chord and belt a note, and then everybody in the bar just stops.
yeah. Well, and you know, for me, which you know, I've told you this, and I've told most people this is most artists I like their hits, but I like their B-side. And if I can like your B-side where nobody's heard your song before, means a lot more to me than others. You know, with Merle, I don't know that he really has very much B-side songs. I mean, I know he does, but most of Merle's music everybody's heard, you know, just because he was big enough. But like the song My Favorite Memory of All, that was a bigger song for him, but that's been popping up on my playlist here lately. That and If We Make It Through December, I like that one's, you know, because he's got the make it till Monday, I think is the name of the song. I can't remember if that's right or not. It's either make it till Monday, make it through till Monday, and then he's got make it through to December. And you know, Merle, just like you said, he hits the chord and you're listening, you know, or he sings the note at the beginning of that song and you're paying attention. Whether it's Walking on the Fight Inside of Me or one of his slower jams, it's just that's where I'm at. But with me personally, from Earl, his slower jams is really where I like him. Don't get me wrong, I like the others. I don't dislike them at all. It's just his slower jams is where I really get into Merle.
For
Just his,
sure. Same here. I think. I mean, that's that. I mean, to me, that's Merle Haggard to a T.
yeah.
But
He's
you
got that
know,
somber tone in his voice.
yeah, and you know, you were saying that Merle didn't have a lot of B-side stuff. The dude has over 600 songs out. The
Yeah.
dude has over 150 albums.
Yeah.
But he only had 38 number ones.
Yeah.
So, and I guess it
Compared-
depends on what you mean I guess it depends on what you mean as a B side and A side. If you're talking like his A side stuff as being his number one hits, you know, he's had 38 of those. But there's a lot of songs like Heaven Was a Drink of Wine.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I meet don't even know that song, but that's my favorite Merle Haggard song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Well,
it never hit.
I guess sometimes it's hard for me to like you said, Heaven is Wine Away or whatever. You know, when you asked me to play that the other night and I played it, you know, you know that, and I'm sitting there singing along with, yeah, I know it. You know, sometimes I forget that just because I know it doesn't mean that it's not a B-side song either. But
Yeah.
and one of the other things I meant by him having B-side songs, not really having B-side songs, is anything he has, you know, obviously it's not a number one, but everything he plays is just it's a great song. You know, with his voice and the way that he plays, you can sit and listen and actually pay attention to his music and reflect and enjoy it one way or another, because you know, he was one of those writers that he wrote the way that he felt. He wrote about things that he went through, you know, and being a blue collar guy like he was and in and out of trouble in his younger days, he can really you know, he can really attest to, you know, what a regular everyday person goes through. So I
Very
don't know
much
why.
so. He lived it, you know.
Yeah. I don't know why he didn't have more number one hits, you know. I wish that he did. And you know, we've talked about this before. You know, they say George Strait is the king of country music, and I don't believe that.
I don't either. You'll get a lot of hate comments because you said that, by the way.
That's okay. I'm not bashing on him by any means. I like George Strait. He's a great performer. When he was writing his own music, he wrote really good music. But he hasn't really written a whole lot of his own music for a long time now. And like I don't remember who it was that said it. I'm pretty sure it was Farron. He said, you know, George Strait could fart into a microphone and it'd be a number one hit.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I've said that. I've said that for a few years about Zach Bryan and stuff like that. So
No, Zach Bryan, I don't even get me started on nothing. Zach
yeah,
Bryan,
I'm not a Zach Bryan fan. I'm not that modern day genre of that, like what they call a singer songwriter today. I'm not
well,
really big on
you know,
that.
when he first come out and his first few songs, I was like, okay, he's doing right. If he keeps this path, you know, and gets big, he can get rid of that. What are you doing? Oh, I can't hear Kevin.
Kevin talking fast.
Hey.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you for that, Brittany. You know, there's a lot of these artists that are out right now that are what I call bro country or pop country, whatever you want to call it. That's not real country. A lot of them did start out with decent songs that were following true country path, and then somewhere along the way they decided, or someone decided for them, that's not the path that they were going to go anymore. And I hate that.
Sure.
That, and one of the things about Zach Bryan that I absolutely can't stand, is the whole he had a song Getting Big. I don't even know if he had a number one. I don't know if he's even ever had a number one, to be honest. But he had one song that was doing pretty decent on the charts, and his girlfriend got pulled over, and he showed up asking the cop to let her go, and the cop said, "Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to write her a ticket." He goes, "You know who the F I am, this, that," just losing his mind on this cop. And it's like, if you think that using your fame for something like that is what you're supposed to be doing, you're dead wrong.
He's king. There's been some stuff coming out of him and some violence that girl.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but what happens behind closed doors ain't none of my business or anybody else's. What you're doing in the public view, though, is, whether see, and the reason I don't want to comment too much on the DV is because we don't know the truth. Regardless if she's lying, he's lying, we don't know, and I'm not going to chastise somebody for something that can't necessarily be proven without, you got video evidence of it, by all means, whatever, pin him to a stake. But outside of that, it's a he said, she said thing, and it's nobody's business but them and the court, as far as I'm concerned. Because if you go down that route, then you got to chastise people like Waylon, and, well, I don't know necessarily about Waylon, but, George Jones for sure. George Jones was a rougher type of person back in the day. Oh, I love George Jones.
I do not. Not a big fan of Zach Bryan. He does have quite a few songs. I do go listen.
Yeah.
Like Nine Ball. Nine Ball is one of my favorites.
I don't know that one. He must come out after I stopped listening to him. I know that, and somebody put a compilation of videos. I don't know if you've seen this yet or not, Kevin. It's been out for a while now, but they put a compilation of videos of his songs compared to Taylor Swift songs, and the music for his songs, like the guitar and all that, the instrumental for his music is a direct steal from Taylor Swift's music.
Yeah. Miley Cyrus.
Well, don't get me wrong, it happens. It's called homage, and it is a thing. They've like oh, well, that stinks for Jake. Jake didn't get to talk about how he was best friends with when we came back up here.
Real quiet, you can still hear you feeding into the other next. Now you're good. Now you can talk.
But yeah, that's another tick against him, is that
you like it too?
a lot of his songs are.
Yeah, I like. He's got a couple
Well, and that's
songs
the
that I
thing
like.
too, is you don't have to like an artist to like their song, because there's some artists that I absolutely despise, but they still have one or two songs that I can like. I'm not biased on what I like or dislike. I'm just, no. If I don't like the artist, I just don't like the freaking artist. It's like what's his name?
Kevin, have you heard Nine Ball by Zach Bryan?
No. There's
Okay.
I've heard Something in the Orange. I've heard Sun to Me, and Sun to Me is probably the best song he's ever put out.
I do like
That's
Sun
the
to Me.
only
Something in the
song.
Orange
That's
is decent.
Yeah.
probably the only song that I've probably ever.
Who was it that put out Cover Me Up? I know Morgan Wallen did, and he had a hit with it, but I'm not talking about Morgan Wallen. Before Morgan. Jason Isbell.
I'm not a Morgan Wallen fan.
I'm not either.
I
like
love his
that
older
song.
stuff.
Yeah, I like his older stuff, but
The Way I Talk, that's like my favorite song of his.
Can't stand Morgan Wallen.
Nope.
Can't stand his music anymore.
Nope.
And Cover Me Up was a cover by him, and the original by Jason Isbell I like more than Morgan Wallen's. And that's one of them songs like we've talked about before, where people are like, "Oh, this is such a great love song," and this, that, and the other. If you look up the true meaning of that song, it changes that song to be very, very depressing. It goes from being a great love song to it's a song about a guy with.
Let Kevin talk for a second.
Oh,
Kevin, can
Kevin,
you
go
say
ahead.
something?
Yeah.
Tell us something real fast. Tell us a story. Tell us the inspiration behind your tattoo on your arm.
About that. You were here. You showed up.
I guess just
Go
childhood stuff.
Yeah, but you go ahead, buddy. Keep going. Keep going.
Just childhood memories. Just because I watched anime growing up, and what I considered them cartoons, at the time. But if you call them cartoons today, the anime community gets kind of mad about it. So it's anime now, but when I was a kid, it was cartoons to me. Dragon Ball Z and stuff was cartoons. Cool cartoons because it had fighting in it that other cartoons didn't have in it. And so yeah, that's pretty much it's just my childhood. I relate a lot back to my childhood, mainly because I kind of got through in the fire early on in my life, and a lot of the memories that I have that are real or that are nice memories are growing up. So I cling to those a lot. A lot of my music, is I've got a few songs that are really that talk about my childhood and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's some of my fondest memories, I guess, was just growing up as a kid and you know, um,
Watching your
yeah, because my family,
anime cartoon. Well, not cartoons. Sorry, like you said, that'll make somebody mad. Your anime.
Welcome, Brittany. Thank you for telling us again that he was cutting out.
Yeah, we're having issues with the sound coming from Discord to TikTok.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how to get everything connected because there's like
But we're not.
5 things working
But
together.
we're not having. Yeah, we're not having issues on YouTube, but TikTok for some reason isn't liking the audio coming from you. Okay. Okay.
you want me to get my AirPods?
No, that's not the problem. The TikTok's not allowing the audio from Discord into the live, which we didn't have an issue with last night, but we do tonight, I guess. So I don't know. Give me 1 second. Kevin, if you want to talk about something, go ahead. I gotta talk to Farron real quick.
Okay.
Just me and you now, buddy.
Yeah.
Did you get your mail from your neighbor?
I sure did. It's right here.
Did you? I
Sure
I,
did.
I wrote the letter, but I came up with the letter for you, and my significant other over there, she's the better handwriting. If I would have sent it to you what I had, it would have been chicken scratches, and you'd have been confused as all hell trying to figure out what it said.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet because I literally opened this like 2 minutes before I came on here, and I had to run up there because I totally forgot about going and getting it. So
Oh, you're
I had to run
fine.
up there and get it.
I wanted to make sure it got to you in time because Eric was on me about making sure it got to you.
Yeah, I've got it right here. I've actually got a lot of people sending me stuff. I've got a outdoor company sending me some custom arrows to um, try out and stuff and do a review on. And then I've got also got some another outfitter sending me hats to do, to promote their brand and stuff. So
Do you have any merch anywhere for sale yet, or are you still working on that, or how's that going?
I've had a release before, so I've had merch out, but I've been out of it and haven't done a reorder. But the management company that I signed to, we are right now we're doing a big pre-sale thing that's going to be that I haven't been announced yet, but It will be coming. The announcement should be coming in the next 3 weeks or so, and it'll be a big pre-sale. So we'll be dropping a new merch line, and everybody will be able to go on there and do a pre-sale buy on it, and yeah. So there probably won't be a whole lot like left over. We're gonna do a pre-sale run of it and see how well it does, and then go from there and see if we want to make a big quantity buy on it and stuff. So.
Yeah. I'm being asked if you could play another song. So, is there any songs you'd like to just, you know?
Yeah, I'll probably refrain from trying to play any like songs that belt because the audio might not hold up. It might cut out real bad. So let's see.
Queen Bee commented and said, "Hey Kev."
What up, Queen Bee? How are you?
You seen that?
She's from TikTok. She's been following me.
Yeah. Hey, look, your followers are coming over. Look at that. But
I
I
mean,
mean, if you want to play Cold Hearted or Miss of Michigan, or I mean whatever you want to play. I mean, Eric just stepped in real fast. He would like to see if you would play Wither Away.
Wither Away.
Yep.
I can play that. It might cut the audio out because that's probably that song that belts. But yeah, I can do it.
Well, I'll make sure to have someone on it. Ryan Stacy Music, how you doing? Thank you for stopping in.
Ryan Stacy is my drummer, actually. So
really? That's your drummer.
that is my drummer.
Oh.
My grandmother just messaged me and said play Don Williams because I'm guessing she's watching on.
Your grandma's watching.
She's watching on YouTube. Yeah.
Hey, Kevin's grandma, how you doing?
Her name's Thelma. She said to play Don Williams, Tulsa Time.
Well, hey, that's more important than what Eric said. So let's get grandma her song.
We'll do. Let's do Tulsa Time. She
deserves
she
it.
always jumps on me because I don't ever play the songs that she requests. So, Mama Thelma, we're gonna play you a song that you requested.
Thank you, Grandma, for coming in.
All right, let's do this. Let's do a little tunage here. We'll do a little Don Williams Tulsa Time for you guys. Alrighty. Well, I left Oklahoma, driving in a Pontiac, just about to lose my mind. I was going to Arizona, maybe on to California, where the people all live so fine. My baby said I was crazy, my mama called me lazy. I was gonna show them all this time. 'Cause you know I ain't no fooling, I don't need no more schooling. I was born to just walk the line. Living on Tulsa time. Living on Tulsa time. Well, you know I've been through it when I set my watch back to it. Living on Tulsa time. Well, there I was in Hollywood, wishing I was doing good, talking on the telephone line. They don't need me in the movies, nobody sings my song. Guess I'm just a waste of time. Well, and I got to thinking, man, I'm really sinking. Really had a class this time. Had no business grieving, nobody would be grieving if I went on back to Tulsa time. living on toast time, living on toast time. We know I've been through when I set my watch back to living on toast time, living on Kentucky time, living on Kentucky time. Well, you know I've been through it when I set my watch back to living on Kentucky time. Oh, a little toasty time.
That was really good. I'm glad your grandma came in and told you to play that.
Thank you. Yeah, she's a.
Is she
Normally
one of
it's
your biggest
digging up bones.
supporters?
Do what?
Is she one of your biggest supporters at home?
Oh, for sure. She's helped me out a whole bunch.
That's good. Grandmas like that are good. I'm glad she could make it in here and see this and come in here and talk.
Yeah, she's she's pretty good about supporting. You know, she's one of my day one supporters. Of course, she's been telling
Hell
me
yeah.
that I could sing and play for a long, long, long time before I ever thought I could. So,
Yeah.
you know, definitely one of those big supporters.
That's good. Well, you said you're a full-time musician, so how long have you been a full-time musician? When did you just quit your job one day, say I'm a make it as a musician, or how'd that go about?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I did. I was working for the federal government, working from home, and I'd went through this awful divorce where during that divorce, almost didn't exist no more and things like that. I guess that's the way I could say it without getting
Yeah.
in trouble on here. And I was at rock bottom, and music was always a big part of my life. But when I got married, I kind of put it on the back burner, never touched the guitar really that much. So for about 6, 7 years there, I didn't really play guitar, didn't really sing, didn't really do nothing other than daily life stuff. And at that time, I had a family to provide for, I had a wife to provide for. So and my ex-wife really didn't support me in my music and stuff like that. So when it did come down to me picking up a guitar and trying to play, she usually wasn't up for me doing that around her. So I had to go like to the bedroom or something off to myself, and so I just eventually it wore on me, and I just put the guitar down and didn't really mess with it, didn't really write, didn't try to do anything. And once that divorce happened and everything, and I was by myself again, I decided that there was nowhere else to go but up, and I was tired of living a life that I wasn't happy with. I was tired of living for somebody else. I was tired of never living for myself, never putting myself first, and I decided that music is something I've always loved and something I always knew that I was decent at. So I told my job, I was like, "Hey, here's my 2 week notice. I'm quitting in 2 weeks." And they're like, "What are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "Well, um, I'm gonna become a singer songwriter." And they kind of chuckled at me and said, "You're gonna become a singer songwriter?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they said, "Have you even played your first show?" And I was like, "Nope, never played the first show. Don't even know how to even go about it, but I'm going to figure it out." And so I ended up quitting my job. I had a little bit of money saved up, not much, but I took that money and went out and bought me the equipment that I needed to play my live shows after talking to some musicians in the area and figuring out what I needed to do. They told me, "Need to go to an open mic, start singing at open mics, get your name out there, let people hear you. And you need to buy this, and this is what you need to have the basic stuff for a show." So I went out and bought the basic stuff that I would need. I had a buddy that I couldn't afford a PA system because the one I was looking at was like $2,000, so I couldn't afford it at the time. So I had a buddy that had the same, pretty much the same system that I wanted, and was like, "Hey, I'm playing in a band now, so I don't care for you to borrow this right here until you get you one." So he gave me his PA system to let me use it on the road and stuff. So that's what I did. So I started playing open mics, and at these open mics, I made connections, and I met some booking agents that helped me get some shows booked. And within about a month and a half of quitting my job, I was pretty much booked out for that whole year, that first year, with shows and
Really?
stuff. Yeah, and so I'd done that, and I ended up playing 226 shows my first year. As a full time musician, and it was nonstop. And then I ended up meeting Abby, which is my girlfriend now. Ended up meeting her, and she's been fully supported my musical journey and been there with me from the pretty much the beginning, um, and has helped me in every which way she possibly can, and has been supportive. And I've never had that kind of support in my life when it comes to a spouse. So she, I'm very thankful for Abby. If it wasn't for Abby, I don't know if I could have done it by myself. So
Well, I'm
she's
glad you found her.
yeah, so she's definitely helped me out a lot, and that's kind of how that happened. And now it's been 3 years, and I've been full time musician the past 3 years, and it seems like every year just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger for me. And I keep writing more songs, get to put more songs out, and I get to meet more people, a lot cooler people than I am, and I've got to hang out with some very, very well known represented songwriters that is, and stuff like that. I've been nominated for, last year I was nominated for Country Music Vocalist of the Year at the Josie Music Awards. And if you don't know what the Josie Music Awards is, uh, the Josie Music Awards is the biggest independent music award show in the world. It is the CMAs for, or I'll say let's take it. It's the Oscars for independent artists. Pretty much, it's like the biggest award show that you could go to. And as an independent artist, as an unsigned artist, and I got nominated for Country Music Vocalist of the Year, and it's held at the Grand Ole Opry every year.
Really?
So,
What song got you nominated?
Missing Michigan,
Was it?
Which
yeah, and so
that harmonica coming in on Missing Michigan is just, man, it just runs it, you know.
yeah, my harmonica player Tommy Kate, he's the nicest dude in the world that you'll ever meet. But man, he's dirty with the harmonica. He can, he can play anything, man. I've seen that dude bring out a pedal board and play psychedelic rock on a harmonica with the band. And I mean, he just can do whatever you want him to do. He can do it. He can create the sound that you want him to create. And when I told him, hey, I want Creed Fisher meets Leonard Skinner on this track,
Yeah,
he made her happen. So,
oh yeah, he did, absolutely.
Yeah.
Creed Fisher is another one of those artists that he's making money. I don't know where he's at on his record deal type stuff, but he's a little bit bigger artist, but a lot of people still don't know who Creed Fisher is.
that's fine. Creed Fisher, if I really want to make it, if I really want to be clear about it, Creed Fisher's probably about where I want to be at.
Yeah.
In my
Somewhere
career,
in the middle.
in the fame department.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure that he makes really good money, and is able to provide obviously for a family and grandkids and stuff like that. And so that's kind of where I'm want to be at. I don't want to be like we talked about the other night. I don't want to be the guy that can't walk in Walmart and get a gallon of milk if I need milk. But it's cool to get to go in if you walk in Walmart and get recognized by a few people,
Yeah.
and
But
they
not
want to take
everybody.
pictures with me. But I don't want to have 12 bodyguards walk me into Walmart to go get a thing of milk. You know what I
I
mean?
don't think you're gonna have to have 12 bodyguards walk you anywhere. But I get what you mean.
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
like I said, Creed Fisher, I really like his stuff. You
same.
you and another guy down in that area, Jim Sowers. He sounds a lot. He sounds pretty close to him too, as far as style wise. Where you got that outlaw to you, but Creed Fisher definitely has his own style. The first song of his I ever heard though was the Way That I Am. That was the first song of Creed Fisher's I ever heard. And I got to see him in concert. Actually, me and Farron both did. I got to go backstage and hang out with him for a little bit while Farron and everybody else didn't follow me. And
Because you bring the knee pads to get backstage.
no, that's what he says. But we're not going to say what Farron said. But anyway,
We'll text you that one later, Kevin.
yeah. No, I said, hey guys, get ready. They're like, what? I said, we're going backstage. They're like, oh yeah, did you talk to somebody? I said, no, but we're going. They said, okay, I said, just be ready when I go. And I said, let's go. And I took off running because one of the security guards kind of went off to the side a little bit. And I walked on in and walked by another security guard. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, what's going on, man? Oh, whatever. And just kept on going. I get back there and I'm hanging out and handing out beers and some homemade stuff. And they go, hey, aren't you the beer pong guy? I said, yeah, I am, because they had a competition up on stage earlier that night that I was in. I was like, yeah, I am. They're like, oh, that's awesome. I'm like, wait, how the hell did you get backstage? And I said, well, I just come back here. So security didn't say nothing to you? I said, yeah, they did. They go, what'd they say? I said, hey, man, what's going on? Use that. I said, well, to be honest, I look like somebody everybody's met at least 3 times. So they don't really worry about it. I look like anybody everybody's already met. So that was a good time. We had, he's a pretty good dude.
Is it that, or is it they look at you and people just kind of feel sorry for you? And
Either way, it works in my favor, so I don't care.
So you got to go backstage and hang out with him, and they didn't boot you out or nothing. They just said whatever.
Yeah, well, it was at Little Sturgis down there in Kentucky, actually, and so their security's not real tight down there. And once you're backstage, there is no security backstage. So you're just hanging out with, the guys that are setting up the stage and setting up the music and all that type of stuff. And like I said, he was still out there and he's like, yeah, you know what? We're getting ready to go to the bus and we're going to get in some other stuff. Y'all want to come on back with us? Come on. I said, all right, let me go get my people. He said, all right, go ahead. So I went back and I went and got everybody and we went to go back again, and security really stopped us that time at the bus. Though we did make it all the way back to the bus, and they're like, no. Like, he told us to come back here. He goes, until he walks out that door and tells me you can come in, you're not going in. And I said, well, ask him. He goes, I'm not allowed to open the door. Oh well, it is what it is. We still had a good time. Nacho, how you doing?
I ain't gonna lie, man. If Creed Fisher said, "Hey, man, come on to the bus with me," I don't think I'm going back to get anybody else. I think I'm just gonna walk on with
like,
you.
they're on their. I'll meet them at the hotel.
They didn't come back with you the first time. Well, guess what, buddy? You're missing out, old son.
You could have
Because I'm
just
walking
texted
home.
them, and then you would have been inside to open the door.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I got to share my good time with my people.
No, my people didn't trust me the first time. They ain't getting the spoils of the.
It wasn't that they didn't trust me. I just kind of disappear when I've had enough sodas. I kind of disappear and meet random people and go on fun adventures. And yeah, we all are pretty good at that. But sometimes they follow.
I feel like I'm
sometimes
on
they
a
don't.
leash.
Yeah, you're on a leash because you're owned.
Wild.
Farron says we're wild and free and whatnot, and Jake's a puppet. She works his mouth.
I just want to get free.
Yeah. No, you don't.
Nah, I like it. I get petted.
What was that song by David Allan Coe? Whips and Chains and Things?
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
I'm chained to the radiator in the basement half the time.
Yeah, all right. We got to change topics here. So, Kevin, I know we talked about before. You used to ride motorcycles, and well, you'd still like to, but you used to have one. What was the last one you had?
So I grew up with dirt bikes and a three-wheeler when I was a three-wheeler when I was a kid, and it's motorcycles always a thing that I always loved. I guess do like I just liked growing up in Kentucky. That was going riding was just something that you did, and
absolutely.
and so I had dirt bikes and stuff growing up and everything, and then
Okay.
I had a few motorcycles when I got up into like 18, 19-year old. I had a few motorcycles and stuff.
What was your favorite one you'd had?
Probably my first one, just because I remember, it wasn't nothing big. It was just like it was a dirt bike, and it was a, what was it? 110 Yamaha? No,
Yeah.
110. Yeah, I think Yamaha. I can't really remember, but I remember it was yellow, and it was like my first one, my first introduction to riding, and my mom bought it for me, and I remember thinking, man, this is the coolest thing. And for like months there, you couldn't get me off of it. Every day I'd get off the bus and I was hopping on it and riding it around the yard, around the block of my neighborhood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was kind of that cool kid that had a motorcycle when nobody else my age had one,
Felt
So
like the
I
kid in
thought it was
Terminator.
cool, and yeah. So it was cool. So that's probably one of my favorites because that kind of got me into it. And I've always wanted to get back into it and get me like a new Harley or something. But the issue with that is not that I don't trust my driving; it's just I don't trust nobody else's.
Yeah, we ride all over the country, and that is definitely a problem. Trusting other people out on the road because they're not paying attention. But we have before we get too far, we've got a question from YouTube here.
Buck Brown, give him a shout out. He says, Kevin, at this point in your journey, who would you hope to share the stage with if you could choose?
Ooh, there you go. That's a good one. Thank you, Buck. That's a good question.
So my dream is to share the stage with Jamie Johnson, and I think it'd be the coolest thing in the world to get to share the stage with him, Channing Wilson, on the Grand Ole Opry. So that would be really that would be like that'd be my dream. Is for Jamie Johnson and Channing Wilson to introduce me to play the Grand Ole Opry. I think that'd be the coolest thing. Jamie Johnson introduced Channing Wilson when he played the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
And I think that would be really cool because that's like two of my biggest inspirations in modern day country music.
Yeah. Well, I
So
know.
yeah,
Jamie Johnson. We was actually talking about his music the other day as well because Farron found this playlist on Spotify called One Hit Wonders and had Jamie Johnson on there. And I had to look it up. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's had more than one hit. And I was like, I wonder how many number one hits he's had though. And I was really surprised to see that Jamie Johnson's never had a number one hit.
no,
He's been in the top 100 a few times, but he's never been number one hit. So
because he got shelved,
yep.
and that's why like he has a very bitter heart for Nashville and the people that pull the strings when it comes to the music industry there. It's because of that. That's you maybe it was you that mentioned this, but there was a video that surfaced a while back of Jamie and there was this radio
DJ.
station that got up on the stage and was like was sitting up there talking big game about Jamie and stuff, and he's like y'all don't play my shit. I don't play your shit, so get off my stage, and I don't blame him, dude.
No, absolutely not.
You know,
And me and you have had this conversation quite a bit, about how this new country it's not real country. You got some artists that are brown, trying to blaze the trail for some, and it's working. Me and Farron was talking about this the other day, how it seems every 10 15 years you see this change where country music starts turning into something that most people that truly like country music don't like, and then for 1 to 5 years it stays like that, and then it kind of goes back to the way it used to be, and or what's accepted at least. And this last time it's done it though, it's been over 10 years. To be honest, and I know you have a difference of opinion on this, but to me, when Jason Aldean come out with what was that song he had? Going on a Dirt Road or whatever
was
it
a good
was. Yeah, it was a good song. Dirt Road Anthem. It's a
Yeah.
good song, but it's not a country
I
song.
liked it better when it was him before he had Colt Ford come on there with him.
Either way,
I'm not a Colt Ford fan.
either way, to me, I don't. That's not a country song in my opinion.
I am not a fan of a short little fat rapping cowboy dude.
Well, the thing is like people. I've heard this statement in the past year and a half more
Yeah.
times than I could probably count. That I could even fathom to count. I've heard people say Zach Top is saving country music. Zach Top is not saving country music, dude.
No.
Zach Top music is 90s country, and 90s country was the gateway drug to what is considered pop country today. And people
That's
don't
what I
realize that true
that's
country
what I
music
wanted
in
you
the
to bring
70s
up.
and 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, 70s, 80s was true country music. When the 90s came around, when you had Trace Atkins and you had Tracy Lawrence and you had Clint Black and all those big guys that was singing that, 90s country, Alan Jackson, they opened the gateway to what is modern day pop country today.
Yep.
And, and so in my opinion, 90s country is not true country either. And a lot of people don't realize that, and they think, oh, well, Zach Top's saving country music. No, what's going to happen is he's coming in. There's going to be a lot of 90 artists that explode, and guess what? They're going to come right back into the pop country era because it's just going to open it back up again.
Yeah.
And there are some artists out there that are bringing that 70s, 80s sound back. Will they ever get the recognition they deserve? Probably not. But like I said, I'm not interested in being Morgan Wallen or Jelly Roll. I'm interested in being, making a good living for myself and touching the people that want to hear my music and touch them the way they're supposed to be touched.
Yeah.
With it. So,
well, and you get and that's where we have difference in opinion a little bit, but not too much. 90s country, I kind of agree with you. A lot of those guys opened the door for what is today, because you go back to like Brooks and Dunn, who I absolutely love. Brooks and Dunn. I love a lot of their music, but they have songs that I don't like. Same with Trace Atkins. Every artist in the 90s, it seemed like, got into that kind of hip hoppy rapper kind of music at least once, if not more. And like you said, you go back to like your 70s, 80s styles. One artist I can think of off the top of my head, at least one of his songs anyway, Cody Johnson's Dear Rodeo, reminds me of a Chris LeDuc song, talking about the rodeo and being in love with it more than anything else. But like you said, 90s really kind of opened that door. What?
You karate kidding it over there?
I got something flying around me.
Oh.
Don't worry.
Okay. I just seen he's like, oh,
Dude, I'm just messing around. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
these dots. Anyway, I agree with you and I disagree with you at the same time, because a lot of those 90s artists, they had those heartfelt, cheering your beer and pouring your heart out songs as well.
It's like Brooks and Dunn,
Hillbilly Deluxe. That's not a country song.
Saying that one, but they had a Fake ID that was used in the Footloose movie or something.
I have no clue.
That one. It's just a hip hop. You out there dancing, and then you got Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
That's not Brooks and Dunn.
Who is that?
That's Being Rich.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
but
and then you had like Montgomery Gentry, which was late 90s, early 2000s.
Hey, don't be hate on him, because I like him.
I like Montgomery Gentry, but
Sold,
at the same time,
Grundy Auction. That's what he's.
No.
Who?
Montgomery Gentry. It's a whole
I
band.
heard Montgomery, and I listened to that song earlier.
No, Montgomery Gentry is like.
Not a fan of it.
But they're the same. Montgomery Gentry. I would. They're a lot closer to country than Brooks and Dunn was a lot of times. And they may have some songs that I haven't heard that aren't necessarily But Montgomery
Hey, don't
Gentry,
laugh at me.
I really like their stuff too. But like you said, 90s country isn't necessarily true country because a lot of what they did, it really wasn't. But they had their moments.
So how do you feel
yeah.
about John Michael Montgomery?
John Michael Montgomery.
Yeah, how do you feel about him?
I like John Michael
Yeah.
Montgomery.
I do.
He's got a lot of good stuff, and he's got
Well,
a
I
lot of
like 90s country music as well.
yeah.
But
But
that don't mean that I think it's true country music.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Tracy, Tracy Bird, Tracy Lawrence, all those guys, Clint Black. I like those guys, and I listen to those guys periodically. But in my opinion, it's not true country music. 70s, 80s is what country music was. And so it's a different genre. It's honky tonk country. 90s is, and honky tonk is what you play at a honky tonk and you hear people dancing to.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. You talk about the honky tonk music, and it wasn't necessarily yes, honky tonk music, but it was more of a line dance. Line dance music is what everybody wanted. Line dance became huge, and that's what everybody wanted to push towards because that's where all the big clubs and stuff down there, country clubs down there, honky tonk clubs that were really pushing people's music. That's where they wanted their music played at. So they got to come up with a line dance like Alan Jackson's song, which had, the music video set a world record for the longest continuous line dance ever. And I don't remember how long it was, but it was for the song Good Time.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't believe that song is a country song, but
people just want something they can dance to.
Remember When, or what's the one about the Jeep? Drive, yeah.
About
Drive,
a boat,
yeah.
too.
Yep. That's another one that it's about a boat too, but
That's the first part.
that's one of them songs that's definitely a country song. But those artists in the 90s, they kind of teetered that line between, and if you go back to your 70s and 80s,
It's like
you get into like Conway Twitty and Ronnie Millsap, they're kind of the same way. They were kind of playing towards the disco era of things at times. And
Yep.
but they may have had a little bit of a sound in the background, but not enough to where it changed the song to where it's not country at all.
well, what about what Rodney Atkins been watching you?
Rodney Atkins, yeah.
You like that
Well,
one?
that's a new one. That's 2000s, but yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one. That may be 2010s, actually. That's either late 2000 or 2010.
I remember listening to him when I was growing up. Well, you were probably graduated high school,
Shut
but
the hell up.
him and like Craig Morgan.
See, Craig Morgan's one that I absolutely love. Craig Morgan.
Hey, your brother is saying, Eric, did you say Brooks and Dunn want country?
No, I didn't say they were not country.
They started out more, let's say, hop.
I didn't say they weren't
Pop.
country, but I didn't say that all of their songs are absolute country. But at the same time, Brooks and Dunn started kind of like Charlie Daniels. They started in a rock band.
I don't think Charlie Daniels has a whole.
Charlie Daniels started as like a rockabilly band.
I feel like he's more.
Same with Waylon. Waylon started, well, not really necessarily rockabilly.
Now you're talking to the Waylon encyclopedia over there, correct?
But before Waylon was Waylon, he was the guitar player for Buddy Holly.
Yep.
So just because you've touched this stuff, or you've played it here and there, or you started with something else, doesn't mean that you can't be a country artist. But when your music is 90% pop or rap, it's not country. You're not a country artist. When you can do both, that's fine. Like, one thing I will say about Taylor Swift, I cannot stand her music. I just can't.
No, we got bad blood.
No.
When
she first started, she was more of a 90s heartbroken teenage love song, BS, whatever.
You're telling me you can't jam out to I wear sneakers, she wears high heels, I'm cheap.
That's not really country though. When she was considered country, she wasn't country in my opinion. Stop it.
Cheers.
Good Lord. When she was considered country, I didn't consider her country. But when she decided to go on her pop album release and start touring as a pop artist, she said that this is not country music, it is pop music. Oh, we got a puzzle piece. Farron, come on and fix it.
5 minutes.
We got a puzzle piece. Let's see if we can get this puzzle piece. Yeah, but you need 4 to walk up them short little legs.
Yeah. Oh,
You
almost got it.
almost got it. Oh, we got the puzzle piece first try. What's up? We're somewhat professional here.
Do you where's the song Strawberry Wine?
See, strawberry wine. I love strawberry wine.
Strawberry
Strawberry wine
wine.
is actually my mother's favorite song. Yep.
That's a good song.
Hot July moon, saw everything. Yep, I love that song. All right, we got way off path here. Let's try to get back on path here.
Well, I think we've had some person comment about 10 times on TikTok if Kevin would play a song.
Santa card. Yeah, but I want to hear some original. Kevin, you want to play one of your originals possibly and give us a story behind it?
Is there anything else Grandma would like to hear?
Or yeah,
Because
anything
Grandma
Grandpa
gets
wanna
first
hear?
priority.
I'll tell you, I just started writing a song today. It's not completely finished. But I wouldn't care to sing a little bit of it. I got like a couple verses and somewhat of a chorus.
After. Go ahead.
I ain't really settled on a name on this one.
Well, maybe
But
I
I
can help you with
think,
that. But
I think we're gonna.
I want writers'
I was
rights,
thinking, I was thinking, this Man You Barely Knew, being the name of it. So
Okay.
here it is. It's obviously about my divorce that I went through. So. I know I'm crazy for thinking we might still work it out. Even after all the hell you put me through, I can't shake still wanting you. Oh, I've tried my best, but it never seemed to be enough. I regret all the memories made and the heartbreaks. Can't seem to forget. No, I'll never understand why you had to step out on a faithful man and throw away a love so pure and true. For a man you barely knew. Oh, and I'll never understand why you had to step out on a faithful man and throw away a love you love and true. For a man you barely knew and throw away a love so pure and true. For a man you barely knew. something like that. I just started it today, literally. But
That's a good one. Unfortunately, TikTok and YouTube may not have got the greatest sound out of your guitar on that. They got your voice for sure, but our streaming with Discord was kind of cutting your guitar a little bit, and we may have got some fix for it, just not for tonight yet.
Yeah.
But thanks for the follow there, guys. It's a great thing you guys are following us. Hopefully we can get these artists more recognition here. But I think you're right. The Man You Barely Knew would be a great title for that one.
Yeah,
But
because a lot of people don't know the story, but my ex-wife, she decided she wanted a divorce, and during that divorce, she cheated on me with a man that she barely knew. She didn't know him really at all, hardly.
Yeah.
I knew him because I grew up with him. He grew up a few houses down from where I live now, and or where I lived growing up, and so I knew him growing up, and we hung out a lot growing up and stuff. But she ended up cheating on me with him, and she ended up getting pregnant by him, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of where that song kind of comes from.
Yeah, and that reminds me. I don't. Yeah, that reminds me of. What is? I'm trying to think what that song is now. It'll come to me here in a minute. We had another question here for you. Not to change the subject too fast. Yeah, I don't know where it's at here, Jake. Do you ever use a slide while you're playing guitar?
I do not. I'm not a very good
Dave
guitar
Cheney.
player at all. I can play rhythm.
Farron, he says.
Who does?
Farron said you're better than he is. So.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't deem myself a guitar player whatsoever. That's why I have my buddy Willie on stage with me. He is probably one of the best guitarists that I know, and he's the one that actually played the acoustic on all the acoustic parts on Cold Hearted. So that solo was him at the end and everything. So he is a very phenomenal guitar player, and stuff like that. So
Yeah, no. And Hayden, sorry, we're not doing call-ins tonight. Throughout the week, I allow call-ins and I allow whatever music you want to play. We normally have music playing in the background throughout the week, but on our podcast, this is just to give these artists a voice and give them a platform so they can get their music and their thoughts out about the music that's going on today and where they think it should go. So definitely keep checking in and staying. Maybe you'll hear something you need to know or something you want to hear. But I was thinking, you were saying, I'm trying to think what that breaking song's called because I've been listening to it here lately. Oh man, that's where you should hit the crickets. I'm trying to think of the song, and I don't want to say it's by somebody else and be wrong, and I don't want to say what song it is and be wrong. Oh yeah. Let me try to sing the two words out of the song that I know to try to figure it out. No, we ain't gonna do that. I don't want people hearing cats fighting in a bag.
I like Every Light in the House is On. I don't know why that just popped in my head.
Every light in the house is on.
Front yard looks like the crack of dawn. Driveway looks like runway lights.
It's kind of like dead in the. I messed that one. It's in the middle of the night. No, it's kind of like dead in the middle of the night, I guess.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Well, that ain't it.
Or When the Thunder Rolls and the lightning strikes.
See, I don't like him.
Another love grows
I don't
cold.
like Garth Brooks. He's got a lot of good songs, but I don't like Garth Brooks.
On a
Yeah, I'm not a
sleepless
Garth Brooks fan.
night.
I had to look up his song, Riding Fence, Graveyard Shift. And it's not his song. I was listening to Chris LeDuc's version of it today because you can't even find Garth Brooks on anything anyway, so it don't
I
matter.
like Cowboy Hat by Chris Ledoux. That or Cadillac Ranch.
Yeah.
Now we call it the Cadillac Ranch.
Yeah.
Parking cars in the old feed patch.
Bean patch.
Bean patch, feed patch, same shit.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Cowsy out there.
Good Lord.
Are you in the agricultural field or am I?
I used to be.
Well,
And
now
you're
I
the
am.
wrong one to be talking about feeding cattle. So
Hey, I spray the wheat for
look, are you in the professional race car driving business or am I?
I am.
Well, I'm a professional driver.
I have that same certification.
You got one of them CDL?
I do.
You know what CDL stands for, don't you?
Certified dumbass.
No, can't
What?
do learning.
Oh. I was always told I probably can't say this on here.
No,
So.
just don't. I'm trying to figure out that song is called, and I'm
But
getting
I was told if you're
lettuce.
if you're dumb a word, you drive a truck.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just it just stands for can't do learning. You ain't got to read, you ain't got to be able to spell, you just got to be able to keep between the lines.
Well, they
and not
must have
hit
not
anything.
thought I could drive a semi down the road because I drive tractors with auto steer. I just poke buttons and go.
Hell, some of them semis are like that too.
They just let me turn. That's all they let me do.
Oh,
Come on, Ferret. It's that one
shut
song.
up so I can get to it, Jake. That's the problem. The thinking don't work when somebody's sitting in my only ear I can hear out of just a yapping.
It don't work when you're talking about me yapping and not even trying.
It was working better. Oh hell, it don't matter. Song about it. It's man and woman talking, and she says, "You ain't the man you used to be," and his line back to her is, "Neither is he." But I want to say it's Keith Whitley's song.
All I can think of is
I don't care.
I know you don't ever care. Just
What?
give it away.
Yeah,
That's what I can think of now.
Do you know who wrote "Give It Away"?
there you go. Go for that.
Yeah, who wrote "Give It Away"?
I'm asking you who.
It wasn't an owl because that's
Who sang "Give It Away"?
Well,
George Strait made a hit with it, but he
Yeah.
wasn't the first to release it. I don't
give it
believe.
away.
George Strait definitely didn't write it because George Strait didn't ever write nothing.
No, I know he didn't. I know he didn't write it. He had a hit with it, but I don't even believe he was the original release.
Because my dad won tickets on the radio to that concert for that guy, and an hour before he was getting ready to head to it, he found out it was in Indiana, not Illinois. So he was screwed out of going to the concert. But I can't think of who it is.
Jamie Johnson wrote that song.
There you go.
Jamie Johnson wrote that song. I knew I'd think of it.
See, he wrote number one hits. He just ain't saying number one hit yet.
Well, it's because he's more
Yep.
outlaw than that.
No, he's not
King
outlaw. He
size.
just has standards of what he is willing to do with his music and what he's not willing to do. Which I
Yep.
believe Kevin's a lot like that. I'm pretty sure if you got a record deal of what, some big time money and this, that, and the other, but they said, but I want you to change what you wear. I want you to shave your beard and I want you to start rapping. I'm pretty sure you're going to tell them to shove it where the sun don't shine. Now, I may be wrong.
Very
I
much
might-
so.
Now, for the first $1 million, I might do that, but it'll be a quick $1 million.
I know what you do for a quick $1 million, and
I
it's
know
a
what
whole
you would
lot.
do for some mac and cheese bites. So don't even go
hold
there.
on now. Hold on
Don't
now. That
even
ain't fair.
go there.
We ain't talking about that. Old 10 ton gets out of
There's
the
a
food
big,
business.
there's a lot of people that there's a lot of people that rag people that change their music to I guess appease the record label and stuff there too. Just like when Luke Combs come out about that Rebel Flag and all that stuff, and
Oh, with
a lot of people
Christian
said,
head?
yeah,
No.
and
Yeah.
a lot of people said, "Oh, we don't like Luke Combs now. He's a sellout." And this is my take on that. I used to be the same way. I used to say the same thing, like, "Oh yeah, Luke Combs was a sellout." But at the end of the day, there's a fine line between providing for your family and pursuing a dream that you've always had and putting the music out that you want to put out. If me having to give a little bit early on in my career to get a name out there to where I can eventually put the music out that I want to put out, kind of like what Morgan Wallen's doing now. I know I don't like Morgan Wallen. I know you all don't either, but
Well,
he
see,
did do that.
and that's the thing is, I don't know Morgan Wallen personally. I probably never will. But if I did, I'd be asking him questions as far as why his music. Like Farron, I was talking to Farron the other day about it, and I said, if I ever had him on here, I'd ask him, you know, why why do you sing? Why do you not sing the way that you originally did? Why did you change your brand? Why did you change the way you look? He goes, so you're just going to straight up and ask him, do you intentionally try to make your music suck, or is that somebody else's choice? I said, yeah, well, pretty well. Because I mean, it is. When he first come out, he kind of like Luke Combs, or even Zach Top.
Adam Calhoun.
That Zach Top hasn't done it yet, but they go viral. They become these big artists because they went viral on the internet. They let them do their first few songs because that's what went viral, and then they change the way they sing. Luke Combs come out saying we need an outlaw. He's tired of pretty boys singing pretty songs, and now that's what he does because the record labels are. I would imagine the record labels are saying, "Well, that fits your voice, son. That's what we want you to do, and you're going to do it that way, or you just don't have a job no more." And
See,
that
I don't
sucks for
think,
him.
I don't think he is as much like he was early. I think he's
Yeah.
more early on in his career, more attuned to what the record label wants than now, because now he's made a name for himself and he's able to kind of like when he put out that Father Son album.
Yeah.
That was something he wanted to put out. That wasn't a record label thing.
Yeah.
That was,
yeah.
he just had a kid and wanted to put music out that he wanted to put out. So he put that out, but do I think Hurricane obviously was a song that he wanted to put out because he wrote it, and that was his first big hit. That was before the record label kind of thing that took place. So like, I think there's a few songs out there that he put out, but like Fast Car was also a song that he wanted to cover and put out.
And I gotta say, as much as I don't necessarily like Luke Combs, I liked his version of Fast Car until it exploded, and that's all you freaking hear anywhere you go. You walk into a gas station, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna hear. Well, when it first got big,
Oh, it's blocked in.
you're gonna hear it anyway. But the song I was talking about earlier was All These Years, and it was Sawyer Brown. I don't know if you know that song or not.
I've probably heard it. I just can't recall it right off the bat.
Yeah, I can read the lyrics, but I'm not going to have the tune with it because I got to have the tune to sing it. So if I had the tune playing, I'd have been able to sing the song. But when I'm just staring at the lyrics, if I don't have the tune, I can't sing it. So I'm not even.
And that's how I feel about
attempt.
Tyler Childers. Is exactly why you feel about that Fast Car with
Oh,
Luke
yeah.
Combs being from Kentucky. All I hear is people cover Tyler Childers.
Yep.
Not saying Tyler Childers ain't a good songwriter. Tyler Childers, ain't a good artist. It's just not the stuff that I want to listen to because it's just not me.
And same thing. I like a lot of Tyler Childers songs, and I skip every single one of them that comes on Spotify because if I want to listen to stuff that I can hear on the radio, I would listen to the radio. I would rather listen to the song "Listen to the Radio" by Don Williams than listen to anything by Tyler Childers. I can tell you that, and I like Tyler Childers' music. It's overplayed. It's oversampled, overplayed. It was like Toby Keith's song "Red Solo Cup."
That was over in a week. I was tired of hearing it.
Yeah, within a week. The first time I heard it, I was like, hey, that's kind of a funny, catchy song. Like, I like it. But it's not like, okay, this is a true country artist song. This is a true country song.
It's like his trailer park tornado.
Yeah. But that was his thing at that time. He was doing goofy, more comedy country songs, and that's okay. You want to do that for whatever. But then you get down to like his original stuff, like Should Have Been a Cowboy. That was an offshoot, but not really an offshoot. I don't mean to say it that way. That was just somebody said that in a bar one time. They went in there dressed from hunting, and all the cowboys was getting all the girls. And one of his buddies said that, man, we should have been cowboys. So he went home and he wrote that song.
Well, what's that? hot 90s country song.
By who?
I think that's the band name.
Yeah, well, I don't know no band name called the Hot 90s Country
Hold on,
Song.
I'm gonna find this one now.
All right, good luck.
But
But-
that's a goofy.
But you know, and Toby Keith was one of those artists that I liked his hits for the most part, but I like his B-side hits. Not hits, but his B-side music more than anything. That's why I liked Toby Keith as much as I did, was because the stories you hear about him in his personal life that he never told that other people tell about him show that he was a true, you know, decent person and decent human being. And his original songs like
Found
who's that? Who's what?
Found it. It's Hot Country Nights.
Hot Country Nights. Okay.
Yeah, and they got the song "Pick Her Up." It's "Pick Her Up" in a pickup truck, and they're dressed like '90s skiing cowboys.
I might know who
They
you're
also
talking
have a
about.
song called "Moose Knuckle Shuffle."
Yeah. Okay, we're done with that. Yeah, that's actually a the singer for that band is actually a country artist. You need to look up who the singer is for that.
It's Travis Tritt, ain't it?
No, God, no.
Thought
No, because that was in the 2000s. Look up who the
featuring
singer is
Travis Tritt.
on that one. Yeah, featuring. That's not who the singer is.
Oh,
He did it as a joke, as a comedy skit. He released Moose Knuckle Shuffle and a bunch of other songs.
my phone's at 1%.
And that's that was just his comedy, like his comedy band name. Let me see who that is.
Sorry,
Hey, it's just information.
Google's fact checking me.
Google. So Kevin, we're getting kind of close to the end here. Is there any song that either you want to put out there of your own that you like to play, or something that you really like to play just because like it's your go-to song to play, whether it's yours, somebody else's, or it's your favorite song, or just your go-to song to play?
Something that means something to you.
Yeah.
So a song that I've been playing a lot of here recently, is because, like I mentioned, excuse me, like I mentioned, Channing Wilson's like probably like I would say him and Jamie Johnson are like right even with each other when it comes to inspiration for me. And he's got a song that I had you play the other night that I like to cover, mainly because I feel like we all have that person in our life that has impacted us in life, and it don't matter whether it didn't matter their beliefs when it come to religion. It didn't matter their beliefs when it come to their skin color or anything like that. It was just somebody that we all in one respected, and they had an impact in our life. Mine was an old man by the name of Wendell Johnson that took me under his wing when I was younger, and taught me how to deer hunt, taught me how to fish, and he pretty much taught me everything there was for the outdoors. And because of that, I learned a lot of life lessons sitting around the table with him after hunting all day and coming home or coming to the cabin and sitting down and talking with him. He taught me a lot that at the time I didn't realize was lessons till later on in life. And so when I first heard this song, it really touched me, and it really made me think back on that. So it's a song that means a lot to me. It's also one of Channing's most requested songs when he plays live and stuff. So are y'all wanting to play it, or do you want me to play it on my guitar?
You go ahead and play it, because if we play it, YouTube will throw us out. If you play it, we'll get away with it.
All right. So this song's called Black Jesus.
Yep, go for it. We're going to step off. You go ahead and have your spotlight, son.
Give me just a second. I forgot this guitar was tuned to half step down.
Hey, that's okay. We're still learning over here. So you guys don't forget to go follow Kevin on YouTube and TikTok. Kevin Thomas Official on TikTok, Kevin Thomas on YouTube with any of his songs. He's also on Spotify as Kevin Thomas. You can definitely find him on all platforms, and you're gonna love his music. I can tell you that right now.
So this song's called Black Jesus by Channing Wilson.
Hey, Abs, sorry, he can't see your text because we're going through Discord. Abs says, so that's why you didn't answer my text.
She knew. So this song's called Black Jesus by Channing Wilson. I was 18 working on a road crew in Georgia. He was a Vietnam vet from Tennessee. He held the post while I drove the hammer. Rain or shine, side by side, 5 days a week. He taught me the blues, and I'd sing him an old Merle Haggard tune. He say, boy, the only difference between us is your wife, my black Jesus. Well, the pay was barely legal. I wasted mine on Marlboros and booze. And his went to his woman and children. And the rest he bet on anything. And he taught me the blues. And I sing to him an old Channing Wilson tune. He say, boy, the only difference between us is your wife, my black Jesus. Well, I woke last night to the sound of thunder. My mind drifted back, that old man. Well, I ain't seen him since I left Georgia. Something tells me we're gonna meet again. And he taught me the blues. And I sing for him an old Kevin Thomas tune. He'd say, boy, the only difference between us is your wife, my black Jesus. And I know when we meet again, won't be nothing between us. Just be me, him, and Jesus.
Hell yeah, Kevin. Good job. Good job. So, a couple things here.
Yeah.
So, you got Ryan Stacy Music saying Abs is his wife. He put a ring on it, Kev. So, I'm guessing. But
we've already talked about that.
so one of the other things though is you throwing your name in there in that song. I absolutely love that. It reminds me of some David Allan Coe. there when he's talking.
Yeah. He's the original version is he taught me the blues. I'd sing to him an old Hank Williams tune.
Yeah.
And so every chorus I try to change the name. So the first one is my inspiration. So I make the song personal to me and I say Merle Haggard, and then the second one I say Channing Wilson, and then the third one I say my name.
Yeah.
So
I love that. And that reminds me of the David Allan Coe, the ride at the end of it, saying, telling everybody that's out there playing music nowadays, throws his own name in there, that's definitely the way it should be. But I was sitting back there talking to Farron, and he said he didn't know the song, but it was reminding me of I Believe by Brooks and Dunn, well, Ronnie Dunn anyway. Which I don't know that's necessarily a B-side song. It may be. It's just one that I really like. Have you ever heard that one?
I have.
Okay. So we ain't got to go into detail then. Anybody else, they can go look it up themselves. But, we're getting near the end of the night here. We may go a couple minutes over just because it's how we normally are. I like to ramble a little bit. But we definitely appreciate you coming on here. And I definitely want to apologize to you and anybody listening for any audio issues we've had tonight. Being that you're our first split screen and only our second guest on the show, we had most of our issues worked out, but we're getting a lot better every time too. We had a little bit of audio issues, but way we've been talking and whatnot, I'm hoping that we can have you on here again sometime, whether it be in person or split screen, and really have all the issues worked out. And that's another thing why I said we really appreciate you coming on here as early as you have. You're only our second guest we've ever had on here, and bigger than what we'd ever thought we'd be able to get on here in the first place. Leighton, I didn't know if we'd be able to get him, but being a buddy, I figured we might be able to get him before anybody else, and then it kind of started, rolling downhill. Snowball headed for hell.
Yeah.
But we are working out some technical difficulties still. So anybody that's not impressed with the audio, especially off of Kevin's side, we apologize, and he will have a spot here forever on this podcast, whether he wants to drive on up here and hang out for the weekend, or if we're down in that area, or even just split screen.
If he comes up here, he better bring Abs with him, otherwise she might be really pissed off.
Yeah, she might be. But but no, we really do appreciate you coming on here.
For sure.
We got two things. Do you have any upcoming gigs that you want to put out there for the public that's listening to us on here?
I'm trying to think. Do I have any big shows coming up? I've got a few in the works, but they've not been confirmed yet, so I can't really talk about them. But
okay.
Not any really big shows. I mean, I play about every weekend. If you follow me on social media, usually like Facebook and Instagram, you should be able to see my shows that are coming up. I don't have anything like big coming up, in the next month that's locked down yet. So
where do you usually play it on the weekends?
Everywhere. I usually pretty much everywhere. And that's why it's so hard for me to tell you where I'll be playing, because I never know from week to week. I mean, I do know, but it's in a calendar.
So we know, but tell the people out there where to find you on TikTok and Instagram so they can look up those shows and try to find you. Because I know the guy that asked at Buck, he's around the country quite a bit and goes through Kentucky quite a bit. He may even be able to catch one of your shows.
Yeah, Kevin Thomas Official, pretty much on everything that you could find. Spotify and stuff like that is Kevin Thomas. So
okay. So there you guys go. You can go find that. And Farron said he has one more thing. He says we have plenty of bikes here for you to choose from anytime you come up here, whether it be the old wing ding trike we got, or Harley, or an Indian, or a Triumph, or whatever your pleasure is, or even dirt bikes. We got plenty of dirt bikes too, whatever you want. Hell, we got them little bitty 50cc cord pull bikes that nobody can fit on, but they're fun to ride anyway.
Yeah, we'll go with me on it.
Plenty of that, and hopefully, hell, I may have have to kick Farron in the ass to try and get that monster truck going too. So we may even have some fun on that. But I don't know. That one's a touchy subject.
After he worked on the Suburban.
Well, the Suburban's waiting on parts to be ordered and parts to come in, so that's going to be a while. So if you want to see, Kevin, if you want to laugh, go on over to the Power in the Prairie Lands and watch the fire safety video Farron has of his Suburban. It's only about a 3.5 minute video. And when you think it's bad, it gets worse. When you think it's over, it gets so much worse. So we're just lucky that we have somewhere to have our podcast, because we were going to do it in my shop originally, which would be fine, but we decided to do it here because that's where all the stuff for the podcast is anyway, because Farron has it. But that video, we almost lost the shop. If he wasn't running as fast as he was, we'd have lost it. So, but again, we'd like to thank you for coming on here.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me.
Guest, and I'm sure we'll have you on here again, whether it be in person, split screen, whatever, or even if you're just up here hanging out and pop in and say hi while you're here, we're good with that too. Everybody out there, go. I don't know how to stress this enough. Go check out Kevin Thomas Official on TikTok and YouTube and every page he has, and try to get his music as big as he can, so he can become the writer he wants to be for the music out there that we want to hear, and maybe even be an artist that we want to see. I know you're not really looking for, playing sold out stadiums across the nation, but
hopefully he gets there.
we want you there.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to be, that's where we want you to be. But if nothing else, at least have somebody else selling out stadiums with you. Like Farron just said, we don't care what you
ever
want.
get some.
I'd be happy if somebody else sells it. If somebody sells out stadiums singing my songs, I'd be happy with that.
That's what I was going to say. If we can get somebody else selling out stadiums singing your songs, whatever we can do to get you where you need to be, because you're writing real country. You live the life of the outlaw country, like a couple of us have as well. Took that music to heart a little too much at times, but that's okay. I just, like I said, I want to thank you for coming on here, and everybody, make sure you like and subscribe here on TikTok, YouTube, and follow us on Facebook, and definitely give old Kevin a follow here. I am going to give another shout out before we get going. Next weekend, instead of a 2-week break period, we've got 2 more artists coming week after week. But next week, we're going to have Joe Allen Christie. He's an artist out of Colorado, Texas, kind of. He's in the works of moving to Texas, but he's out in Colorado. He's going to split screen with us next week. I know he had a song in the Texas Songwriters thing not too long ago. Hopefully, he can give us some more details on that while he's on here with us. But that's our next guest next Saturday, which is, I don't know, I'm terrible with dates. I don't even know what today is half the time. February 1st, we will have Joe Allen Christie on here at 8 p.m. Central Time. Remember that Central Time, Kevin, an hour behind you, not ahead of you.
Yeah.
So definitely come in and check him out. Like I said, this whole thing is about getting these unrecognized artists the recognition they deserve, give them the right to write the way that they do, sing the way that they do, and either get them famous to the point they're selling out stadiums and we can drown out this trash coming out of Nashville, because that's really what I want to do. Even though we're a small podcast, we get the right people hearing us, we can drown Nashville out as far as what the big ones are putting out there in Nashville that we don't believe is country, and most people don't. Drown them out with some real country writers and real country singers. So anything else from you guys?
No, thanks for coming on, and thanks for getting to talk to us and hear Eric talk for 2 hours.
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
You got the other 9 minutes. He got the 2 hours of it. But thanks for playing songs for us. Hang
absolutely. And I just want to apologize to you again that we weren't able to get the audio as good as we should have, and that's something I think we have a fix for for next week. So again, you have a spot here any week you want.
And I will
Whether-
not be 6 minutes late next time, I promise.
if we have a weekend we don't have nobody on, and you send us something saying, "Hey, this weekend I'm free, I want to come on," because you got something to announce or you got something going on, more than welcome. Throw it out there. We'll get you in here. You know, hell, if you want to come up and be a partial host with us while we got somebody else on, more than welcome to do that as well. But again, thanks for coming out, and everybody, thanks for watching us tonight on YouTube and TikTok. Again, this will be posted to our TikTok page, so if you missed anything, you can go back and rewatch it. Thank you everybody for coming, and we'll be seeing y'all later.
All righty.
Kevin, you got
Have a
anything
good
else to say to him?
Just one little thing. When you're supporting artists, the easiest free way to support people is they're going to tell you to like their stuff and all that. But the main thing is to share videos, repost videos on TikTok, share on Facebook, share on Instagram, tag people. The last thing you should be doing is liking the video. And I know that sounds kind of like an asshole kind of move, but really liking don't really do much compared to the sharing. And the sharing is by far the best thing that you can do, because that gets out to the people that follow you
Yeah, share,
as well.
subscribe.
So,
Like I said, that
yeah,
like
share and
don't,
subscribe. Yeah.
that like don't do a whole lot to the algorithm other than get people when they're live. It gets them in there, but after something's posted, those likes don't really mean a whole lot other than, oh yay, somebody liked me. So thanks again, Kevin.
Sharing it gets it out. If you got 3,000 followers and you repost a video on TikTok, it reposts it to your feed, and it gets out to those people. Not necessarily the whole 3,000, but a lot of them people will get to see it, and that's what adds on to the views. And the views is really what matters, because the more views you get, the more it pushes the algorithm out to people.
All right. Well, that's good news to know. We'll try to take a little clip of what you just said and throw it out there on our own page. So they even send it to you, whatever you want to do. So thanks for coming again, and everybody have a good night.
All right, take care, guys.
See ya.
See ya.
Okay, YouTube, TikTok's ended. YouTube ended yet?